Hey, excuse me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Um, Hope everybody is doing well. I want to. Hey, what's going on? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Um, Want to have a discussion tonight, if I may, and hopefully you all will be um, here to enjoy. All right. Hey, what's going on there, Lady Karen? How you doing? I am. I shall. I know who you are. Hey, how you doing? Um, so I want to talk about something tonight, and something I think it's uh, something that'd be good for a subject matter tonight, and so hopefully, as you are gathering in, um, so I want to say. Um, the thing I want to talk about is this. Um, well, I ain't put my little topic up yet over here. So let me get my little topic together. I forgot to do that before I came on. So I ain't gonna perpetrate. I'm doing well, Lady Karen. How about you? All right. How about you? All right. Um, so anywho, let me just go ahead. And so I want to talk about tonight, which is based upon some events that have occurred. I want to ask, do you still believe it takes a village? Raya, can you turn it down? I need it down further. Thank you. All right. Um, so, as I was saying to you all, yeah, okay, I'm glad to know you're doing well. That's good, Karen. Um, Here's what I need um, for you all, and that's this. Um, No, well, let me ask you all. Let me just ask you all, and just type in the comment section if you do. Do you still believe it takes a village? Do you still believe it takes a village? If you write yes, tell me why you say yes. If you say no, tell me why you say no. All right. If you say yes, tell me why you say yes. If you say no, tell me why you say no. All right. Those of you that are in, yeah. So let me know over here. I'm seeing comments that's coming in from those who are in Facebook or, I mean, Instagram. But do you still believe it takes a village? Um, I have some major concerns. And so I want to just discuss it on Can We Talk Tonight? All right. So, my girl, Lady Karen, Care Ministry for All. She says yes. So I'm trying to see you all that are watching here, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, chime in and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you actually believe it still takes a village, and if it's still to you takes a village. Can you explain to me why you think it takes a village? Or if you say, no, I don't think it takes a village. All right, so I'm just going to wait to see if there are any other comments that are there. All right. So please, um, give me some AP, some audience participation. Okay. And it'll be greatly appreciated. Okay. All right. I'm going to wait just a little bit. Um, and so while I'm doing that, let me do this now. All right. Just curious to know some things. All right, let me do something now over here. Um, and I want to go to a certain level with you all. All right. Um, okay. All right. Ooh. All right, so I brought something up, but let me exit out for right now, and then I will come back to it. Okay, my boy James says, yes, I believe it does because others may be able to teach things that parents cannot. Okay, now that's a very interesting thing you just said. And what are some things you feel that other parents can teach or cannot teach that somebody else may? Um, Tell me that. All right. Lady Karen says, I'm sorry, I forgot. Uh, Let me see. Red says, absolutely. Unfortunately, we don't have many like minded people in our villages. But yes, it takes a balanced village. Uh, there there's our biggest obstacle in this fatherless day and age, like-minded support. Okay, thank you for that. Um, okay, let's see. Lady Karen says because different people can offer different sides and or see things different. God may show me something, or I may have been through something that another hasn't been through, so I'll be able to share. Okay, thank you for that. All right, those of you that are coming in on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the question I have in this live is, do you still think it takes a village? And if you think it still takes a village, explain to me why you think so. All right. Let me see. Red says like-minded support is key for a successful village. Okay. He says specifically, my parents weren't taught finances, so they were not able to teach that to me. Okay. I got you. Okay. I got you. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I don't know if you all are paying attention to my background, especially on Instagram. So let me bring it back up here. All right. I don't know if y'all see this, the background. All right. Can y'all see the background? All right. Um, this particular thing in the background has really, really gone up on Twitter. It's going up Instagram, is going up on some social media uh, type conversations or whatnot. It has really, really, really gone up like tremendously. It has really, really gone up. And so, what this is a situation with the rapper Kodak Black. And um, all right, and so Lady Rona says, yes, it's Kodak who got a stripper for his son. Now, I want to give clarity to the situation. It wasn't a stripper for his son, um, because this actual background situation right here, the actual background right here, is a baby shower for one of his daughter who is coming. So that whole setup is a baby shower. Now I don't know how the lady bending her behind in front of him is good. Now here's the thing I want to talk about. That's why I said, do we still believe it takes a village? And the reason why I'm asking that is because there are some people who will tell you that's not your business. You need to stay out of that. I know for a fact I would not want to subject my child to something of this magnitude. Period. Now I'm not even, and I'm not just speaking just on the male alone. You feel me? I'm not just speaking on the male alone. I'm speaking in general. Um, it's just not something that should be. I believe this young boy is maybe 6 or 7 years of age. It takes a village. Somebody, because what happens is, and this is no disrespect, but it just seems factual. It seems that when we have parents, younger parents at times make decisions regarding their children. And they're looking at it not from a parental perspective, but sometimes the perspective is from a youthful place and not from a parental place. And so when we talk about it takes a village, as James talking about, he didn't know finances, so he had to go to someone else to help him with finances, and that's fine. Somebody needs to be able to help us in each aspect of our life. However, I'm beginning to see, and I was just talking to Apostle John Brown about this not too long ago, and I said, there are moments in time I don't want to deal with certain subject matters. I don't want to talk about certain topics, and it was one of those things where he was saying, well, you have to realize that there's certain assignments that have been given to you, and it's amazing to me. I didn't write this down, but I'm going to put it up later. And a thought came to my mind. If what you see makes you sneak, then you don't need to peek. All right. If what you see, okay, makes you sneak, then you don't need to peek. If it's going to pique you because you peek to it, you need to re-examine and kind of look at it and really deal with the whole situation. And so this is a very concerning situation. And then someone said, well, what harm is it done? I read some comments. Well, what harm is it done? He looked like he's smiling and he's enjoying it, but it's not something appropriate for that age. Now, if he want to be 18, 19 and all of that, go for it. But when it comes to certain things, and the reason why I believe this is important for us as a people, and I'm not talking about Christian people, just people generally, because our society is beginning to overly sexualize a lot of things. And we cannot start picking and choosing the time that we want to speak out or say something against or have a perspective on a particular situation. I am still not for the usage of calling a young lady a witch spelled with the B. I'm still not for that. Now I know it is in it's what's the word I'm looking for? It is enveloped in music now. It's enveloped in movies. Where the statement of calling a young lady a female dog is like saying, "What's up, homie?" Where there is no separation. I even talked to someone at my job and I said, well, that's okay. And it was like, well, yeah, it's okay. It depends on the context. So like if someone said, well, that's my beat, then I'm cool with it. But if someone says I'll beat that beat, then that's a different perspective because it's the way you use the word. So at one time, they're basically saying if it's used as a noun to determine as who I am, then it's different. But if you're describing it in a derogatory way, like in the adjective, then it's going to be a major problem. And so it is interesting how that has become the mindset, the mentality. And I believe it takes a village to show chivalry, to show respect from child to parent, parent to child, from young man to young woman, from young woman to young man, from young man to young man, from woman to woman. There are some things that should be from an anthropological perspective, from a human perspective. There ought to be some things that we are willing to help out along the way. It didn't help him. I saw a video of him. I think it was his mom's birthday, and he grabbed his mama by her behind and grabbed it. You're not going to get me to grab my mama by my behind, but then then there's other dynamics that I don't have. Some people do that with their mom. My mama's going to be my mom. I'm going to grab my mama by her behind, and not even in playing. There are some lines you just don't cross. I don't have a problem with children being close to their parents, but that child cannot be the best friend in the sense of, like an adult should be, because there's certain things that children and adults should never have what's the word? They should never be that comfortable in certain situations. Absolutely, but that's a sociological issue. I spoke out many times about what's appropriate and continue to be met with the question of appropriate according to who. And see, Red, and that's a problem. Because see, this is why I tell people, whether in church, whether you're Christian, atheist, or not, this is why I tell people all the time, and I'm glad you said that, is that relativism has become the god of this world, if you will. Relativism has become now the new normal. That there are no, what's true for me may not be true for you. And what's ridiculous about that, or maybe not ridiculous, what comes off as immature about that statement is, notice that as long as I'm cool with it, as it benefits me, right? And as long as it floats my boat, you know what I'm saying? As long as, I can, move the rudders in my boat, don't worry about what you do with your car. But there are certain things, no matter what, that there has to be a consistent standard. And the thing about it is, and I was talking to one of my god sisters who was telling me, pretty much, my daughter said this and this and this, and I said, I don't care. And she said what Rona said over on Instagram, that this generation is different. And even though this generation is different, that doesn't take away from our responsibility of instilling in this generation. This generation is outspoken, but some, I won't say this, some in this generation have the mentality, some of them have a mentality, of, I can say what I want to. No, you can say what you want and express yourself, but it has to be in a respectful manner. If I'm a parent or an adult, then you cannot speak to me like you're my equal. And that's the thing. But sometimes sometimes children or adults have made minors, or you know what I'm saying, or some parents have made their children be on their equal level, and so you're having engaging in conversations with them that you need to talk with an adult. See what I'm saying? There's certain things that should not ever be discussed as it relates to children. You know what I'm saying? If I got an issue, with my wife, then my children should not be the first to know. If my wife got an issue with me, our children should not be the first to know. Because then when you start speaking negativity, you know what I'm saying? Or if there's an issue that I got with my brother, then my sister should know before my brother know. Now, there's a different story if from an adult perspective, if I'm going to this person to try to gain understanding. And there are some young people, there are some kids who have a wonderful, mature mindset, but there are something they're not mature from because they don't know how to separate personal feelings. Y'all get what I'm saying? And so we have to, right. I agree with you, Red. There's no balance, standard, or regard to that. And that's where the challenge is. I cannot subscribe to what some things may not work in my house that may work in your house. Now that may be relativism, right? But there are certain things that are absolute across the board, because if there are certain things that if I say certain things, there's certain things across the board that should be in every household. Chores, respect, times, levels of curfews, certain things across the board. Now how you deal with that in your household may be different. You see what I'm saying? But that's a responsibility. All right. Let me see. Let's see. Kylan says, yeah, I never understood how a child can cuss their parents out. You know what? I can understand, Kylan. And the reason why I can understand, because the parents cuss their children out, or they have conversation They're calling each other, what's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? What's up, B? What's up, B? And it's a common nature. And because they want to be down, they want to be, relevant. And you cross lines and you cross borders, just like the situation with the picture with Kodak Black, where you got your child smiling with some lady with her butt tilted over. Shouldn't be tilted over. Not even in, you know what I'm saying? It could be a big major joke, but I don't think it's a joke, right? And it should not be. But like I said, he already got stuff out there. He was accused of some things. There's certain things you got to stay away from. All right. Let me see. He says, and then just walk and feel nothing. Then the parent don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, not in my watch. I promise you that. And so this is why I'm saying, do we still believe in it take a village? Like I know somebody and then we can't have the mentality, oh, it's the hip hop world. All right. Now I'll be nice. What you do in your business, gotta understand, you gotta separate what you do in your secular world or your secular job has to be different. Gotta be different. Because let's flip it. Let's flip it. Let's flip it. Would I want my daughter to have Magic Mike at her 14th birthday party, 15-year-old party, or one of my granddaughters having somebody come and do a lap dance at their party? Absolutely not. We're not even playing those games, because there's certain things that children should not be introduced to. They should not be introduced to too soon. Now, some children have been introduced to certain things too soon. Why? Because of their life. The whole Aretha Franklin story and her being violated at a young age. She was introduced to sex at an early age in the name of love, right? She was introduced to sex in the name of love, and everybody needs love, and everybody needs somebody. And he took advantage of Aretha Franklin as a kid. You see what I'm saying? Took advantage of her in that situation. And that's not, an acceptable thing. And so when I look at this whole situation, as it relates to, him and all that he is doing, or has done with his son, it's concerning. It's concerning. I remember when Bootsy talked about allegedly, because he shifted, said that in so many words that he allowed his son, his nephew, to receive oral sex from someone. And then the mentality is 14-year-olds are having sex. It's the normal thing now. It's the common thing now. And so this is where we've come to, that what has now become a normal practice should not be a normal practice. And there are things that you and I have to talk about and help raise the village. At my job, right? I'm going to say what is right. I'm going to instill it. What if it's not being taught at their home? What if this standard of treating women, young ladies, young men correctly in a respect, what if it's not being taught? So I just allow them to just go, and I don't say anything, because the mindset is, now I can only help. I can only say, well, that's not how I was taught. Like I dealt with a young man who was raised in a very hardcore way. So because he's in a hardcore way, he doesn't deal with his emotions, right? And when he deals with stuff emotionally, he does it in anger, because that's how he was brought up. You don't cry. And if you hurt as a man, you man up. You don't be no punk about it. You don't be no sissy about it. And using the word sissy, he was not even dealing with it from the perspective of somebody's sexuality. He was just saying, you don't be soft like that. You don't do all of that. So then when he came to talking to me, and because of how, I know how to handle certain things, his emotions got carried away. And he didn't know how to deal with it. And I was like, it's okay. No, it's not okay, because that's not how I've been raised. So now I have to show him that there's nothing weak about being hurt, being emotional. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It doesn't make you less of a man. Maybe if you dealt with your emotions, maybe if you dealt with those feelings of rejection, maybe if you felt with those feelings of abandonment, you would not subject yourself to so much anger and in so much wrath. And so because they're raised in an environment that, if somebody mad dog you and look at you too long, they're throwing you a hint like, what's up? You want to do something. And so now you can't take that mentality with everybody. You can't take that with everybody. There's a young man who's homosexual that I know, and at my job, and one of the young men that I know that's gay was feeling some type of way of going to the restroom where the boys were. And I'm transgender about this particular person, but he was concerned about it. And I was like, well, why? And, there's something about him, because I used to have to keep reminding him over and over again. I didn't understand it until the conversation made sense. I said, every heterosexual is not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to hurt you. Have no desire to hurt you. Don't put every heterosexual in the same category. And that caused him to be able to talk to me. That caused him to be able to speak to me. So when something recently happened in his life while at school, he wanted to make sure, okay, I know you got to go take care of your son, and I know you got to get ready to go toward his game, but can you stay with me until this is done? Right? So had I been like some of these overly masculine males, being like, oh no, he gay, he this, I ain't got no time for all this soft crap, I got to leave. He needed support, and I gave him the support. Now, does that mean that I'm giving him the support to shift him from his mentality and how he feels that he is who he is? Absolutely not. But he'll never forget that imprint. He'll never get that imprint. And so then it appears to me that there's not enough consistent male voices in his life, hear me well, that is not looking to get something from him, but wanting to impart something to him. Did you hear what I just said? Not willing to get something from him, but to impart something to him or impart something in him. Okay? Do you feel me? Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? I believe it is very important. I believe it is very essential that we do these things. Why? Because what happens is, because that's why some folks will never be able to deal with it. Well, I don't know how to deal with nobody that's gay. Stop trying to deal with people that's gay. Deal with the person as a person. You may have never dealt with somebody that was a gangbanger. Deal with a person that is a person. For the gay person is still a human. The gangbanger is still a human. So you deal with them accordingly. It takes a village. It takes a village. Maybe there are some things I may see that, I don't have a problem. I'm not offended. Andre was going through some things that relate to basketball, and I don't have a problem with him reaching out to his uncle Dante. I have a problem with him reaching out to his uncle Marcus. I don't have a problem with that at all. All right, I don't have a problem with that. Okay, I don't. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm not looking like, oh, why he can't come to me and feel some type of way. I don't need to feel some type of way. There's somebody else that can help. It takes a village. And that village does not necessarily mean that they're going to teach my children, like what James was saying, teach my children something that I didn't know. They may be able to help in other areas. It is not, and that's what sometimes the problem with some parents, they feel, well, if I need somebody else and somebody else got to come into my village, that means I'm not doing anything correctly. No, that's not factual. Does not mean you're not doing the best of your ability. Does not mean that you're not loving. It does not mean that you're not concerned. But what it means is sometimes we need help along the way. Sometimes that's where godparents come into play. That's why I tell people, if you're going to make this person a godparent, then don't bring somebody into the environment of your child, and this particular child that you want, or this person rather, who wants to be the godparent, they don't uphold your values. At least some of your values have to be upheld. But this is the situation. This is the time that we're living in. where we are telling young men, be, tell young men, be yourself, be a boy, and go screw around, but then tell the young lady, no, you can't do that. Like that issue, that time it went down with T.I. and his daughter, right? And trying to check and see if she's still a virgin. Are you checking? Did you check on Messiah? Did you check on King? Are you checking on Mason? Like, are you really taking the time to make sure they're virgins too? But you want to just focus on your daughter? No, that it's becoming these double standards. Can I have no double standards? There are certain things across the board. It's why is it more manly for him to have sex, but then it's womanly for her to stay a virgin or to stay pure? Or, if you out there behaving that way, you don't want to be known as a whore. But he's out there doing stuff as if she was out and about, because this is sometimes what society and upbringing has developed, and everything can't be about she's a hoe and he's a hoe. Everything can't be about that. Y'all get what I'm saying? There's some things that have nothing to do with that. And this is why we got to have wise people. Okay? Wise people. What is that? Where is it? Yeah, people, what that Red said about like-minded people to help support your village. Gotta have the same mindset. Gotta have the same mindset. If I'm not about that gang banging life, I can't let the gang banging life influence my daughter or influence my son. You see what I'm saying? If that's not my life, that I'm not saying that there's certain things that they cannot teach you. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is we gotta have that mindset. It takes a village. Sexualizing our kids should not even be the situation. Having them sexualized should not even be. There's certain things this is why certain interests become piqued, because somebody has entered into an arena, into a territory that they should have never went into, or if they went into it, now the image is there, and now they're having a battle. Okay? Now they're having a battle on how to get the image out of their mind that they just got introduced to. All right, Red said, that double standard never made sense to me. It takes two. Absolutely, sir. All right. So y'all get what I'm saying? So it's something that needs to be addressed across the board. It takes a village. Kodak, I got you. That's your son. But bro, I know what your music is about. I know, but don't introduce your son to this at no 6, 7 years of age. That's why you got to be careful. Got to watch, because now cartoons are very suggestive, sexually suggestive. I remember years ago, this was back in probably the early 90s, with Family Guy, when I think it's Family Guy. That's the one with the dog, right? When the dog said, I can't think of the dog's name, it was like, oh, she gave me fellatio. I'm sitting up here like, oh my God. Now this is a cartoon being played at a Christian-like campus, and the dog said, she gave me fellatio. And I'm saying to myself, fellatio? And so I'm saying, oh my goodness. So I was like, okay, we need to change this. But then I'm like, then I'm going to get asked questions why we got to change it, because this is something they was watching at their home. Like a bunch of second graders, third graders, fifth graders was watching Power and Scandal. And I said, so when the scene come up, what do you do? Oh, my mama makes me close my eye. But you can still hear the moaning and the groaning, which cannot be uttered. You can still hear the moaning. So it's like, oh my God, this is what we're doing. So then there came a point where I used to do this thing with the men, or the fathers, and I had to start saying, you got to be careful what you project, what you do. There was one little boy years ago when he came to the school that I was working at, Broad Acres. He was used to a certain environment. So he would tell, and we talking about a first grader, y'all. He would tell women or girls, suck his, and then call them bees and try to swing on them. Then there was another young man who was a little bit older. He had a problem with hitting on girls, right? He had a problem with hitting on girls. So a female police officer showed up. He was like, I don't care nothing about that B right there. She can't do nothing to me. Now, mind you, this not a school police, like sheriff police. There was nothing about him that was bothered by that. And so I was like, you cannot talk to women that way. You cannot put your hand around a young lady. You're going to go to jail. That's abuse. You cannot do that. Well, come to find out, he saw his dad beat his mama. And that was a consistent pattern. The little boy that was a first grader, he saw, he saw drug usage, drug selling, drug usage. He's saw how the pimp was calling the prostitutes bees, sluts, hoes, all that. And this, so that's the mindset he had. So then having to talk to him and help him get out of that mindset. It took a village to get him out of that mindset because that was the environment. Are y'all hearing me? That was the environment he was brought up in. That was the setting he was brought up in. Right? So he didn't know it. So it took a village. So, okay, let me help you, young man. This is not how we deal with women. This is not how we talk to women. We don't put our hands on our women. We protect our women. Now, of course, I have to do talk to young ladies as well because it's the same mindset. Young lady, you yourself do not put your hands on the male. If you got a problem, speak your words. But even in your speaking your word, don't try to tear the person down. Y'all get what I'm saying? That it's a major issue and a major it's a challenge, and it's something that we have, to deal with. I was getting ready to say something else while I was talking and made me think about it. All right, but it's a challenge, and it must be taught. So it's both sides. You don't put your hand like a lot of folks didn't agree with it, but hey, if the guy is walking away and you still pursue him and trying to hit on him, he's telling you to stop, and he pop off on you. Y'all talk about karma. You put it out there in the atmosphere, it's coming back to you. And so you get swung on, right? He moved away. He walked away, but you kept going after him. You can't put your hand. It's domestic violence either way. You don't abuse the girl. You don't abuse the boy. Okay? But that's the mindset or the way these individuals have been brought up. And so because they've been brought up this way, this is their challenge. This is what they were caught up in. And it had to be taught. One young man, he couldn't stand me, didn't like me, didn't want me talking to him. But I found out later why. I reminded him slightly of his father. He saw his father take their mother's life. So he had no respect, not just for me, but other males, period. He had a different perspective, a different outlook, a different viewpoint because of what he saw. So it took a village. I couldn't understand, why was he so hard? Why was he so this? And I will often tell the principal at the time, when we got these different kids, you ain't got to give us their history, but let us know this one comes out of an abusive relationship or abusive household, or this one is, homeless, or this one lives in a shelter, because then we'll have an understanding of not coddling them, but catering to the need of the individual that is going through. Why is this boy so angry? Why is this girl so angry? Why? You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Why is she this angry? Why is he so jacked up? Why is he feeling the way he's feeling? We got to have the conversation. We got to. Why is everybody she dealt with is an uncle? Because that's how mama introduced all these different men coming out of the house as an uncle. Why is all these different people aunties? Because that's how he introduced all these different women coming in and out of their life. He has no level. He don't know respect. He doesn't know respect. There's some things, let me just keep it 100. Can we talk? There's some things that I tell myself, don't ever do this. This is my mistake with your mom. This was my mistake with your mom. This is my mistake. This was I have to work on. Don't do this. This is not how we did forever. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I'm not flawless, but don't carry it. See, the thing that some people do is, and it's not hypocritical that when you know that something's got to work on, but you don't have to work on this. Don't get involved in this. Don't make a decision like this. Don't do X, Y, and Z. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's so important. I mean, it is so important. So if this thing back here, I took it off on Facebook, but if the situation, if this, let me put it back on just real quick. If this situation does not disturb you, there's a problem. And I understand this whole hip hop, but there are people that in the hip hop culture that don't uphold certain things that's done, though they say it in their music. But it does not mean it need to be carried out. Y'all feel me? That there's certain things we just don't need it to be done. We have that. It takes a village. It takes a village. Sometimes the village need to sit there and be understanding. Listen, be compassionate. Be a listening ear. Be that person that nobody else have. I wish I could talk to Kodak Black and be like, I know you wanted to have fun, but you don't want to stir something up in your son that don't even need to be there. Don't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to be helpful. That's something that's not going to be productive in his walk. Be mindful of what you do. You have to be a parent first, not a friend. Got to be a parent. That's what I'm saying. Some folks want to be friends and parent. You can be a parent that's a friend or a parent that is friendly, but we cannot be friends first. We must parent. And there must be a difference. This is why some children feel they can pop off and say whatever they want to say. They feel they can say whatever they want to say, how they want to say it, the way they want to say it, and then they challenge you. Well, you said it. Well, hold up. First of all, you are not an adult. And then as parents or as an adult, we got to be careful. Well, how come she can say ass, but I can't say ass? No disrespect, not trying to be disrespectful on here, y'all. But then you respond and say, well, you can say that when you become an adult. So then the mindset of that is then as it's not that cussing is wrong or it should not be done. It's just I'm a kid that can't do it. But when I get older, I can cuss. That's not the mentality, the mindset. That's not the mindset you should have. Abstinence is more of a help to you than it is a hindrance to you. Abstinence. Not just because you come up in some religious upbringing, but abstinence is better for you. Why? Because it teaches you self-control. I'm a firm believer that if you don't know how to discipline yourself sexually, there'll be some other areas of your life that you won't have any discipline to. If you can control your sex drive, you can control your passions, your hormones, because it's not sinful to have hormones or to be horny because it's part of the hormone. But you have to be responsible. Excuse me. You have to be responsible with how you deal with your own, if you will, home fireplace. You have to control your passions. Am I making sense? So there's a responsibility that we have, and we gotta help out. Society cannot be dictating how we should raise the village. The government ain't got no business telling me. The government ain't got no business telling me what I should be doing with my child. They barely know mathematics, but they know that they were gay at 2 years old. Didn't even know what gay was. Didn't know. Everybody goes through their identity. And I'm not speaking just gay to straight to gay and all that stuff. I'm just saying everybody goes through a moment of trying to see, where do I fit in? I'm darker than this one. I'm lighter than this one. I'm in between. I'm black and I'm white. I'm Asian. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mexican mixed with Indian. All that. I'm Asian, but I have I'm Filipino, but I have a Filipino daddy, but I got a black mom. So now I got to deal with that. You see what I'm saying? And so there's a whole lot to deal with in a society that don't want to deal with mixed people. And so we have to learn how to deal with that stuff. We got society, government is trying to dictate. I read something from Ryan D. Anderson, and I'm 100% agreement with it. I can be anti-mandate vaccine and not be anti-vax. I can be anti-mandate the vaccine and still not be rather anti-vax. There's a whole conversation that we're going to need to have. We're going to have that conversation. If we don't have that conversation, it still takes a village. If you feel within yourself you're not able to handle things, I deal with some kids all the time, and I have to tell them, understand, there's a young man, I won't mention who it is. This young man, I mentor a different young man, but there's one in particular in my mind that when we talk about a lot of things, and I share, understand your family's upbringing. Understand that there's some things they do because that's how they was raised. And so when you start to question what they're saying, they don't interpret it as you trying to gain understanding. They interpret it as, so you saying I was wrong for how I was raised? No, I'm trying to understand, because maybe how that was handled then is not how it's handled now. One of the most immature statements I've heard a black parent say is, well, my mama beat me that way, and look how I came out. My daddy beat me that way, and it kept me out of jail. But that didn't stop. But see, here's the deal. It is amazing that the beating kept you from jail, but it didn't keep you from weed. It's amazing it kept you out of jail, but you low-key sexually active. It didn't keep you. It kept you, from off the drugs, but you still dealing with anger. Because anger can't be beaten out. There's certain stuff that cannot be beaten out. You must take a person through the process. You must take them through getting that toxic out of their system. Why are you so angry? Did you hear why are you so angry? I've asked that to students at my job. Why are you so angry? No one asks these specific questions. Why are you so angry? Why are you like that? When what one of the students says to me, he says, I like talking to you because you care, but I don't know why you care. That shouldn't come out of a child's mouth. That feeling that I don't feel wanted, or I don't feel like nobody else cares. And that's why I say, if you don't have a whole village of people, if you got one person that's concerned about you, that's enough. Let that be enough until because if there's one of me, there's somebody else. But how do you know why you care? Because I care about what you feel. I care about what your mind is. I care about what you do when you're not on this campus. I'm concerned about you. That's what caused people to say, wow, if he cares. People will speak more to us as older people if we show that we care. Okay? All right. We're planning to the conversation of balance and partnership, breaking generational curses and malpractice. Okay? All right. All right. Now, I'm not a teacher of generational curses, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. Me personally, I'm not. Though I get why it's been said, I'm just not I'm not an advocate for it, but I get it. I understand why it's said. I don't necessarily agree with the breakdown. And I'm dealing with somebody right now that's trying to help me to get that understanding. Even from a biblical perspective, I don't even see it. But hey, but y'all feel what I'm saying? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? If you have a question, right? I have a question, or put in the comment section a question mark, and then yeah. But I still believe it takes a village. I still believe that, y'all. I still believe it. I still believe it. And if you are on here as a parent and you've tried everything within your power, that's the only thing you can do. So listen, everything cannot be the parent's fault, but everything can be the parent's fault. And then there are some people that feel they can just talk. Like I said, they feel they can just say whatever. And I told them I don't have a problem. Once again, I don't have a problem because I was very expressive as a kid. But there was a level of respectability that was demanded, and if I didn't, I got checked. Sometimes verbally, sometimes physically, sometimes verbally and physically. It's not a problem of expressing your mind; it's how you express it. Unfortunately, it's a blanket term. Haha. Okay. Okay. All right. Generation curse is a blanket term. Okay. So I'm just y'all get what I'm saying? So I just think at the end of the day, it takes that village. One of the greatest things you can learn in this generation is to talk, listen, and then you'll be able to better assist. Because we're in an informative generation and we have to be able to give an understanding. There's a young man who's agnostic. I ain't gonna say atheist. He's agnostic. I believe he's agnostic. No, I don't believe he's atheist, but he's agnostic more or less. And he said one of his favorite passages of scripture is give a reason of the hope that lies on the inside. Isn't that something? All right. All right. I believe you can be best friend with your parent, but I don't believe where you get comfortable to disrespect your parents. And I have many friends that feel like that. Okay, so let me see where you're going. You said I believe you can be best friends. Yeah, I'm not saying you cannot be best friend with your parents, but there's a certain level of disconnect that a child or a minor is not able to bring. I think there are, and I, this is just my opinion right here, very strong opinion, is that I believe sometimes parents who don't have a consistent amount of adults in their life that they can um, talk to their kids. And there are times they don't need to be doing that. I don't care if it's the mom or the daddy. There's certain things they should not do. Um, There's certain conversations it's adult why. Yes, they can be a mature adult. And then there are some that know how to they don't know how to be neutral. They don't know how to separate. I can dislike what you just did to me, but if you're coming to me about a different situation that is not dealing with me, I can have dialogue with you, communicate with you in regards to the situation and not put my personal feel in the situation. So I don't have a problem with you being close. This is my best friend. I know people that like that, but there's a respect. They know they're not equals. And sometimes, when people have become too comfortable with their parent, then they're able to do stuff that's just not cool. That's not it. But then once again, but that's how we did it in my house. And so therefore, when you come to somebody else's house, you think that's going to be the set tone. But that's not how that works here. I'm not shifting who I am and what I stand for because your friends are coming over or because you're no. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, and I shouldn't have to shift. If who I am you are ashamed of, that's your problem and not mine. Did y'all hear what I just said? If who I am you are ashamed of, that's not my problem, that's yours. Because it's never fair with all the friends that my kids have had. Once they come to know me, is I'm loved. Y'all dislike me. You see what I'm saying? Y'all dislike certain things, but once they come to the knowledge, they see. You know. Let me see. Colin says, "Hold on, I'm waiting for." Oh, there it is. I had a friend told me he told his daddy he can't do that because he don't like it like that. And I asked him, "Do you think that's right?" Wait, I had a friend told me he told his dad that he can't do that because he don't like it like that. And I asked him, "Do you think that's right?" Now, okay, I don't know where you're going with that. He couldn't do what because he didn't like what like that. What do you mean? That's over there in Facebook, y'all. Trying to get clarity to see what he means by that. So yeah. All right. Any questions about the shutdown? Um, as soon as I get what Kylan is saying. And I'm not saying Kodak Black is a bad parent. I'm saying this is a bad choice. We've all made decisions at the time that we thought was best for our children at the time. Okay. Let me see. He said there was an issue where the dad was saying your job in the house is to do that. To do what? I don't know what you're talking about. His job was to do what? And not do what you want to do. Okay, to do what and not do what you want to do. Give me clarity. 'Cause I still don't know what you're making reference to. I would talk more in detail about this. Instagram let wait. I would talk more in detail about this. Instagram won't let go. Won't let wait. I would talk more in detail about this. IG won't let get off all my thoughts. Oh, plus it's too much to text. Okay. Um, let's see. I would love to talk more in depth about this. Unfortunately, IG won't let me get all my thoughts, and plus it's too much to text anyway. Okay, so if you want, just for I guess I can go over for a little bit. If you want to come on, you can feel free to come on and you can talk about it. If you want to send me a request and then you can give me your clarity, or unless it's a private thing you want to have outside of the social media. Yeah. Or Kylan, you can come over to Instagram and give me clarity of what you're talking about. Okay. But it takes a village. And then be careful, who y'all allow in your village. Okay, you said, if I recall, it was to check the mail and clean the stairs. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to your other comment. So your other comment was, I had a friend told his dad he can't do that because he don't like it like that. So what you're saying is he was saying that he could not wash the dishes and clean the stairs because he don't like it like that. Well, then he just gonna wash it and get used to doing it. How about that? And see that's and see um Okay. I'll go to Facebook. I'm battling sinus issues. Okay, but see on Facebook, I'm using my okay, you're gonna go to Facebook what to get your thoughts out? Okay, I got you. All right. Um Boss lady, you said, let me see. Now that's the one. Be careful who you let in your village. Yeah, you gotta be careful who you let in your village. And I'm gonna say this: if you allow, and this has always been my issue, if you allow somebody to come into your village that you trust in your village, then allow that person to be the village helper. You know what I mean? Allow the person to be the village helper. Let them help you. You feel me? Let them help you. And then if they give you advice about certain things, then let them have it. You feel me? Let them have the advice or give them the advice. Let follow it. Yeah, many people have told me, you know, I was like, but why are you allowing this to happen? I know you're not for that. I know you're not with that, but I just need to do it. Okay, then they came back. I should have listened to you. I wasn't doing stuff to say, listen to me. It's not about listening to me per se, but it is about taking what I said and making it applicable. Because the minute I did that, he started doing this and he started doing that. Well, you have to be consistent. Got to be consistent on the situation. You know what I'm saying? You got to be consistent on the situation. I know of a person who child felt some type of way because their significant other as a minor could not spend the night over the house. What do you think? I told somebody, if you know, can we talk? If you know that your daughter has a crush on that boy, why would you put them in an environment of them spending the night at your place or over there? If you know your son got a crush on this little girl, why would you allow them to spend the night? Can I rock the boat? If you know that your daughter is attracted to this other young lady or your son is attracted to the young man, they cannot be in the same room. They may not be able to be in the same house. You see the difference? It's easier, y'all may not like this, it's easier to put the boy in his room and the girl in his room, in her room, versus if two young men are attracted to each other and they're in the same room, they might be tempted to do something. They might be tempted. Now, it still may be where the young lady's in one room and the other one, and you sleep, and then that young man comes into the room, and that young lady comes into the room. You see what I'm saying? You still have to be mindful because you have to set the parameters. Once again, it cannot be when I can do this because I'm grown. They interpret I can do that because I'm grown. Some of them interpret, a lot of them interpret it as, okay, so when I get grown, I can do this. We got to change that teaching, or we got to change that explanation. See what I'm saying? Got to change that explanation. Oh, so I can do this when I'm grown. Yeah, I do believe there's certain things that children should not even engage in, shouldn't even be experienced. This just me personally. A bunch of nose piercings, loop-de-loop earrings, tattoos at a certain age. No, you get 18, have at it. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Well, at a certain age, I think a certain thing. But in my house, no. No, I'm not smoking weed with you. No, you're not smoking weed. No, we don't smoke weed here. No, I'm not drinking with you. Not like, no. No, I'm not getting drunk with you. Nope. Nope. I'm not screwing my girl in my bedroom and you screw yours in there. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, there's certain boundaries and parameters that must be established across the board. That there's certain things you just don't need to do. You see what happened when that person got caught up in crack and crystal meth and smoking weed? Because weed slowly debilitates you and handicaps you. It is a proven fact, scientifically speaking, that there is a connection between mental health and those who have been smoking weed since they was a youngster. It's a connection. It's scientifically proven. Somebody met 12-year-old mental health issues. Okay. Okay, Red says the biggest hypocrisy taught is do as I say, not as I do. Wrong is wrong, inappropriate is inappropriate. I agree with that. But I also want us to understand something too. I think also, Red, what you just said, if I just go by Jesus, Jesus taught, do as I say, not as I do. To the people. He said, observe what the Pharisees do. Do what they're doing, do what they're saying, but don't do as they do. Because what he's teaching them is, it's like this. If I tell you lying is wrong and I'm a liar, that does not take away from the fact that lying is wrong. If I tell you you had no business having sex before marriage and I'm still screwing and I'm unmarried, or you shouldn't cheat on your spouse and I'm doing it, it doesn't take away from the fact that what I said was correct. It just that I'm not living according to it. Because technically, well, I'm gonna get into that, but I get what you're saying. It does come off pretentious because I'm saying don't do what I'm doing, but there are certain times don't do what I'm doing. You see how I look? I'm screwed up. You see how this made me? I'm screwed up. You don't have to become this way. So I believe when do as I say, not as I do, it's used as a tool of to lack accountability, then I would say it's hypocritical. But if I'm telling you, don't do this, look at how I am, and I'm using it as a way to help you because I'm not helping myself, then I can take it that way. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. Because I used to have that mindset as well until I read where Jesus told them, observe what the Pharisees do, where they say one thing and do another. He said what they're saying is factual, but how they living is not. And so, I get that perspective. So it has to be. Okay, got you. Thank you. All right. Because y'all know this gentleman right here is one that forever keeps my mind racing and thinking. He's one of the very few, and I'm not saying in a negative way, but he's one of the very few that keeps my mind sharp. And going. But I'm just saying there's certain things we across the board. Across the board, this cannot be done. Watch this. For example, if I, as a Christian, believe that drinking is wrong, right? Versus if I, as a Christian, feel that drinking is not wrong, but getting drunk is wrong, then I'm not going, if I am a person who feels that drinking is wrong, I'm not going to be drinking with somebody who's going out to the bar. I'm not doing it. Or if I know this person is an alcoholic, I'm not going to drink with them because I'm not going to cause them to stumble, because it says, don't let my freedom bind up somebody else. But see, folks, they going to teach that right there. They don't want to teach that part. They don't want to teach that part. Sometimes our liberty can be detrimental to somebody else's livelihood. And we cannot be the one who has caused somebody to stumble because we find freedom in it, but this person to find bondage. Did that make sense to you? I'm not going to cause somebody who is weak in their understanding. I'm not talking about weak in tradition, weak in, well, this is how we've always done. I'm talking about those who have not come to the place to understand this is really nothing sinful, but it may cause you to fall into enticement. I'm not going to put you in entanglements. Yeah. So the next time somebody says, you can't tell me how to raise my kid, I'm not trying to tell you, I'm just trying to advise you. See the difference? Telling is you shouldn't do that. Advice is, may I offer you a suggestion in this situation? Or I would advise you to do da 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 da. Because sometimes when we say certain things, well, you should do this, this, and that. Sometimes if we don't have that type of relationship with a person, they receive it differently. But I've also learned that there are some situations I don't need to have a relationship with you to tell you that's not good. I've taken it upon myself, if I am having people ride in my car and they may be friends of Andre or connected, if you're riding in my car and I hear certain stuff said, I'm not, oh, I've even, Andre said, well, maybe that's how, okay, that may be how they do there, but you in this car. And that's not how it's going to be. Like one child has a way of speaking that I know he feels comfortable talking like to his mom or maybe to his dad. I said, but that's not how you're going to speak to this one. But that's not how I meant. Well, let's figure out. You just said da 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 da. How you think that came off? Oh, I didn't mean no harm, Mr. Loughridge. I'm just saying. You gotta watch your. Yeah. Be open. Be direct with what you're saying, but be mindful of how you say it and certain stuff. You're not gonna be in my car calling females sluts, witches with a spell with a B. No, 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 no. It's different if you're repeating the lyrics of a song and you're talking about that. But no, you're not gonna feel free, feel comfortable, and say no, 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 no. Had a young man say, "Oh, she's a, oh, really?" And so I told him, I said, "Well, you must be the same thing. How? You was with her." So she's now a female dog. She's now a witch spelled with the B, but you was with that B. You was with her. So then when did she become when did she become that? At what point did she become that? Like really? Like at what point did she become that? Like when did it change? Please let me know at what point. Okay, at what point? Because you was with her, and she must have been that big of a bee because you was with her. Which means I said, and who pursued who? You pursued her, yeah. I said, so the bee in you saw the bee in her, right? Everybody's like, oh wow, that was powerful, Mr. Law, Mr. D. I ain't trying to be problem, trying to educate you, young man. You can't call this girl a female dog spelled with a B. You can't call her a witch spelled with a B. You was with that B. What made her a B? Come on. If she's a dog, you a dog too. Come on. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like you can't just get no, you can't do that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And I'm not gonna allow you to call her that. I'm not gonna allow you to call her that. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. You can say it in anger. I get you. Okay, now let's come out of that. Was she a bee when you were trying to have sex with her? No. Okay. Well, was she a slut when you were trying to have sex with her? No. So she came a slut now because okay. And then if you're talking like this, I know you talked to that before. That's your girlfriend, but I don't give you a right to slap her behind. Cause you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas going around with hickeys around y'all necks, but you're hiding from your parents. Like there's a young man I know right now comes to my mind. You supposed to be in the relationship with this girl. Where is she? Oh, her mom picked her up. Does your mom even know y'all? The mother know about you? Oh no. Well, why? Oh, she's not supposed to have. So you put hickeys on this girl's neck, but she's not supposed to. And then where her hickey is I said, oh, she must have kept her coat on because it was very noticeable. It was very noticeable. And I love when I get asked the questions. Mr. D, did you know? I, I, I didn't do no ditching. No, I didn't ditch. And if I care about the girl, I want her to be in class just like I need to be in class. But then once again, as I stated, some of them can't help it because of their environment they've been raised in. Until they come in contact with somebody who has a deeper, more mature perspective. Say what you want to. Some conservative ways are going to be, they're generational. They're not archaic. And sometimes it's not per se the generation from the sense of the people, but it's as a Greek word, it's the aeon, it's the ages, it's the epoch, it's the administration that we're under. Like I'm listening to some people that my son got me listening to, and I find out their age, and I'm like, they're talking about sucking on, she's sucking on my penis, and it's like, really? But I can't say it's a mystery because I remember a girl was performing oral sex at a middle school. Found out about it. She got caught, but she was performing oral sex, and they was giving her $2, not even knowing that this child in this middle school did not interpret it as she was being prostituted because she was performing sexual acts for money. She was doing, you see what I'm saying? They couldn't daily. This girl was making $100 almost. I ain't exaggerating. No, wait, about $50 a day. But but when investigation went into it, this is what was done to her by a male relative. I'll give you money if you perform oral sex on me. So it became a practice. It became a part of her character. It became a part of her makeup, her personality. So she liked the money, though she began to not like the situation. So she made herself do something for the pleasure of money. And of course, she had to go through a lot of therapy or whatnot because of that situation. But some people have been introduced to things at an early age. She's fast. Let's find out why she's fast. He's effeminate. Let's find out why he's effeminate. She's too masculine. Let's find out why. Everybody effeminate is not gay. Everybody is masculine is not a lesbian. Okay. Sad thing is happening younger and younger. You'd be surprised the situation I see with preschool age. You know what, sis? I wouldn't even be surprised. Early 90s, early 90s. Um, preschool age. I'll never forget this, God, as long as God keep my mind. I'll never forget going to the restroom, checking the restrooms. I was at this private school. And I walked in, and this boy had his preschooler had his pants down, had another boy's pants down, and he was trying to penetrate the other boy. Now, I didn't need the Holy Spirit to speak to me. I didn't need a handwriting on the wall. I knew exactly where that came from. I knew exactly where it came from. That boy seen that. There's nowhere in the world. He seen that. And when I said seeing that, maybe not seeing two men, two women, but I knew like in person, but I knew for him to go that route at school and persuade the individual to partake, I knew it had to be something. So I knew this particular young boy, and I don't, and let me say this, I didn't fault completely the mother, but I knew his mom. When I found out who his mom was, it made sense to me because she was in a same-sex relationship. And I said that to say this. I called her into a room and I told her, I said, I need to tell you this. This is what is happening with your son. Your son, and I gave her the thing I just told you all. She began to cry. We thought we kept the door closed. The door was closed. He walked in. You didn't lock the door. Are you hearing me what I'm saying? You didn't lock the door. You closed the door, but it wasn't locked because he was able to get in there. All right. Because he saw what his mother had on was what he had as a male. And when he saw her do what she did to her partner, he wanted to practice it at the school. Christian school, right? I didn't go into, you know what the Bible says. I went into, you have to be mindful, because here it is. I'll be saying the same thing to you. If your child walked into an environment and you were husband and wife or whatever, boyfriend and girlfriend, and there's certain things your children should not be held at a certain age. You have to be mindful. I said, you can't bash him. You can't go off on him because he's only mimicking what he saw. And he tried to do it here. There's no reason for him to try it at home because there's nobody at home to try it with. But I saw my mama do it, so I'm going to do it here. Now, had I went in another different route, the conversation went differently. When that boy ended up leaving the school or whatever, not because of that, but, you know, it was time for him to leave, she came and said, I thank you. She said, I know you're a preacher. I know what you stand for. I know you don't hold the lifestyle. You don't hold on to believe in same-sex relationships in this sense. She said, but I thank you for how you dealt with me that day. It caused me to think about a lot of things because of how you displayed love towards me, because of how understanding you were. You didn't condemn me. You didn't, you were not judgmental concerning me. It made me begin to revisit some things about me, that I was so comfortable in my life that I slipped up and I wasn't concerned about the innocence of my child. Not, Mr. Loughridge, not that I feel, she said, not that I feel within myself that being in a same-sex relationship is wrong. She says, but I didn't want to put that pressure on my son. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? But it made her revisit a lot of things, which made her say, Is there anything else? I said, oh yeah, he does. Da, 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 da. She said, oh my God, I do that. Like I couldn't understand why he was talking to certain people a certain way. That's how she was talking to her partner. Y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful of the conversation, not compromise, but yet be there. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Let me go back to this. I gotta go, y'all. Okay, Loughridge, I need clarity on something I'm confused on. When people say I treat you this way because I see something in you, what does that mean? Now, I don't know. Um, I, it depends on the context of the conversation. It really depends on the context of the situation of the conversation. Um, I give you an example. There's a young man at my job, and he says to me, "You seem like you always hard on me than anybody else." And I said, "There's a reason why." He said, "Well, what is the reason?" I said, "Because you are intelligent, you're comedic, you're many of these things. You're hilarious." I said, "But at the same time, you have a responsibility to yourself to be wise in your decision making and what you do and what you don't do." And so then he was like, I said, "But I'm only going to be on you because I see the potential in you." I said, "And I'm only going to be, certain I'm not going to focus on the weakness of your or the mistake. I'm going to be like, hey, boom, boom, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to handle it. You need to shift it." Then he's like, "It seems like you're just always on me." I'm always on you because of what I see. Now, I don't have to say anything. If you're bothered by it, I won't say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I just want to be clear. Okay. I just want to be clear. Okay. All right. I just wanted to be, you know, um, very clear. All right. All right. Instagram. I hope I'm not pausing. I look like I am. So I think for me, Colin, it really depends on the context of the conversation. Because I don't, now if I see potential, I'm going to be constructive in my critique. The other aspect I would say is this: even if I see something, I'm not going to do something that's going to tear down your character. I'm not going to do something that's going to tear down, your character. I think my Instagram done flipped out. It's still doing that little movement. Um, I'm not going to tear down your character in order. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but that's the only thing I can say. Okay. That I want to push you to your great level. I want to push you to your greatest level. And I want to move you from being in a position of potential to performance. Because potential can only carry you so far. But there's levels when we need to move from potential to performance. So hopefully that kind of gave you some type of clarity. All right. It's almost an hour and 30 minutes. Any more final questions? I'm going to let you go and can we talk? All right. I don't know who that one person is that's watching me on Instagram. Am I paused? Because my thing keep flashing back and forth. So normally when it flashes like that, it means I'm paused, but I don't know. All right. Any other final questions? Blessings back to you, Bishop Brooks. Okay, so you understand? Okay, good. Yeah, boss lady, it does take wisdom. It takes wisdom and patience. Wisdom and patience. All right, y'all. I'm done. Thank you so much. Um, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. The Lord say the same. Maybe I'll discuss the same situation or something else that may be in my mind. But all right, y'all have a good conversation. Good day, and yeah. All right. Take care of yourself. Hope there's no final words. I'm about to say bye bye. All right, y'all have a good night. Um, as, the, as they say, sleep tight. Don't let the bed buzz bite. All right, I'm out. What's the word I can? What's the final thing I can say to you? What we learned tonight is what we learned tonight. It still takes a village. It still takes a village. That's number one. Number two, be careful who you allow into your village. And then number three, be who you only allow to be in that village. All right? Because somebody is going to need you. All right. I'm out.